The Chicago Bears are in pursuit of a running back before the start of the season. Could that lead them to pivot to JK Dobbins coming off Nick Chubb? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go and get into this content for today, y'all. And the Chicago Bears have reportedly been interested in Nick Chubb, but considering that there's some things going around, his injury, things like that, we don't know. Reportedly, the Cleveland Browns still are interested in bringing him back. That could lead, per Brad Biggs, so the Chicago Bears do have interest in JK Dobbins. He's 3 years younger than Nick Chubb. He did only play 9 games over the course of the 2022 and 23 season, but last year he played double-digit games and had over 900 yards on the ground, an average of 4.6 yards per carry. Fellas, how do you guys feel about the potential signing of J.K. Dobbins if this is where the Bears pivot to?
I like it. I'm not even gonna lie. You said it earlier, younger. He's definitely one of those backs that can go out there and get you yards. And let's be honest, we wanted one of the 2 running backs out of Ohio State. I guess we can get one that graduated from there earlier in this, couple of years back. It is what it is. Out of Ohio State, he was the backup running back for the Ravens, I believe, for a few seasons. Last season was the first season he was supposed to be the feature back. But you know how the Chargers do, man. They'll run out 2 or 3 backs in the season. I'm not mad at this one, bro. At 26 years old, I like what I see from J.K. Dobbins. I play a lot of fantasy football, and he's one of those guys that can get you numbers.
I'm not too mad at it personally, but I'm on the side of looking at the Chicago Bears like, hey, why not see what you have in your running back room first? I understand that you can go back and you can look at the film that you already have on certain guys like Roschon Johnson. You don't have much tape on Ian Wheeler, and you looked at those situations and the Hard Knocks episode to where you have a running back coach pretty much saying like, hey, you need to hit the hole a little bit harder, you need to do this a little bit better, and there might be some doubt in that. But me, I'm on the sideline pretty much saying like, hey, see what you have in your running back room first. And I'm still going to stand on that. See what you have in the young guys that you brought in. I understand that Kyle Managai was a guy that you drafted in the 7th round, and typically 7th round players don't necessarily pan out to become starters or fill in pieces for your roster. But see what you have on your roster already in that running back room personally to see what these guys could potentially bring to the organization before you go ahead and move and say, like, let's go after JK Dobbins. Let's go after Nick Chubb. I think those are 2 outstanding running backs, but I'm still on the side of, hey, let's wait and see what we have in our running back room already. I don't necessarily think that you have to jump on a running back right now, simply because you have 4 running backs if we count everybody that's involved. And you can pretty much see what these guys can bring to the organization. Now, if you want to move in and you're going through minicamp, you're going through OTAs, and you're going through all these different workouts that you're going through within the next few weeks and saying that, okay, yeah, these guys not necessarily going to pan out right now, or they need a little bit more of a development or to go through the development process. But right now I'm looking at the Chicago Bears like, hey, what was the point of keeping a Roschon Johnson or going after a running back in the 7th round? Because I simply feel like you should give these young guys an opportunity to see if they can prove themselves, because who knows what Kyle Manage can bring to the Chicago Bears, running back room, what he can bring to them, because I ain't really never seen a damn highlight reel where a running back is just knocking linebackers and all defensive linemen on their backside by blocking, or you're not seeing too many highlight clips to where you see a running back is absolutely breaking a bunch of tackles and being able to protect the football like a Kyle Manage. So I say give these young guys an opportunity to prove themselves before you just absolutely jump on another running back. I'm not necessarily mad at it, but I would love to see the young guys receive an opportunity just so you can see if you can build and have a running back to push forward with this organization, not only for this year, but 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 years down the road, because I think that's more sustainable.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying for sure. Like, you see what you have here, especially since you've upgraded the offensive line so much. Like, see what you can get out of what you have here. You still have to make a decision on Roshan unless you've already made that. But I think that there may be some internal already doubt. Like, just to hear what we've heard about, like they were willing to trade up for Travion Henderson. They clearly feel like they aren't as confident in their running back room. The thing about bringing in a guy like JK or Nick Chubb, I don't think you're looking at signing either one of these guys to long-term deals. So maybe it's looked at as a stopgap to make sure you have somebody that, if they're healthy, you can trust a little bit more. That's the way that I view it. But it's clear that there's some lack of confidence in this running back room somewhere in it. Just
I agree.
And I'm right there with you. Like, and I respect what you said, Bobby, but like Roshan, his the only thing that he's shown me is that he's injury prone because he's a missile. He's gonna go out there and throw his body into a brick wall. You're looking at JK Dobbins, bro, and my man for his career is averaging 5.2 yards per carry. Like, that's not bad, bro. As a backup for the Ravens in 2020, he averaged 6 yards per carry. Like,
is there any concern though that he's missed more games than he's played over his career, though?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about missed games and we're kicking the cans on Nick Chubb and JK Dobbins, because that's where I'm looking at it at, not necessarily about what's happening with the Bears running back room. And I agree with you, Bobby. You got to see what you got here, but they also have seen what they got here too. They looked at film and they see what they got here, and there's certain players that they might be looking like, oh no. But as far as J.K. Dobbins and Nick Chubb is concerned, I would more so take a chance on J.K. Dobbins just based on the fact that he's younger. He doesn't have as many miles on him as Nick Chubb might have in terms of how they were utilized. He was more of a backup in Baltimore. And then last season with the Chargers, he was the feature back until he got hurt there as well. But I just feel like if you got a chance to go get somebody of that caliber and put him in the running backs room to put fire to the rest of these guys in our current running back room, why not?
Yeah, I'm not totally against it, and I totally understand it. And I agree with both of you guys 100%, simply because for the sake of competition, you bring in guys like this to see if Kyle can rise up to the occasion and be like, okay, you're a 7th-round pick. Do you have that chip on your shoulder to come out here and show this coaching staff and show Eric Bieniemy that you are really like that? Then Ian Willer is a guy coming off an ACL tear. Are you really willing to bounce back off this injury and show what you're actually made of? Roshan Johnson, we know that went out there and you are a physical running back, but you have placed yourself in positions to hurt yourself. How are you going to respond now that you've implemented the guardian cap to you being on an actual field and things like that? So I totally understand that. It's just that I want to see if these young guys are actually, capable of being those feature backs, because I think that with the money that you've given DeAndre Swift, you're going to lean on him more so than not, with, even if you go out there and sign a Nick Chubb or look at a JK Dobbins and those type of things, you look at those two guys and you say, hey, they can very well come in and be some good, productive running backs for the Chicago Bears, but for how long? And I understand that you can go in and you say 2026 in that draft, that can be another opportunity to go and get another running back, maybe the running back out of Notre Dame that's going to be coming out in the future year. But at the same time, I still rather see what these young guys can bring to the Chicago Bears at the same time than just looking at, okay, let's go get a Nick Chubb or get a JK Dobbins. I'm not necessarily mad at it, but I understand it. but I'd rather give the young guys an opportunity to go and prove themselves before we actually make that decision. I think that determination can come closer to training camp.
I feel that. I feel where you come from. And that's typically where, when you look at Ryan Poles and his veteran acquisitions right before the start of the season, like he's done that. Unique Ngakoue was that, right? Um, who was the head case wide receiver that we traded for? The
From
model.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the model?
Yeah.
Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool, right? That was after, I think, a preseason game or so. So I don't know if any of these signings are imminent, but I feel where you at least go through OTAs and feel and see these guys before you really try to make that determination. I definitely feel you where you come from there, but they do have to make it soon, right? Because like this team has been clear in the fact that they are trying to win this season, right? So you don't want to let those guys slip through, and then you get through training camp, you're like, oh well, then now they're both gone. So maybe
I mean,
that's a little
because
bit of that too.
and we know that Ben Johnson, on top of 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets, he likes to have a 1-2 punch with his running backs. And right now, I just don't see that 1-2 punch combination in the current running back room. Now, it could be one of these guys. It could be. I'm not really high on Wheeler like that. Like, I like the story that we saw in training camp last year, in preseason last year. I liked it, but it's like, play that like Howard. This the same way I feel about Big Yale, this offensive lineman. What's his name?
Karan Abagaje.
Karan Abagaje. Like, it's like, okay, it's a cool story, bro, but I need to see more, right? Wheeler coming off an injury that's tough for running backs. And if we're talking about the future, Bobby, and I respect what you said, bro, but like, we already know that the running back position is almost one of the most replaceable positions on the field. You look at teams like the San Francisco 49ers, they literally put dead bodies out there and they get 800 yards. So it's like, for the Chicago Bears with Bieniemy and the type of coaching change they're trying to have, it's not just about what you have. He already said it. Ben Johnson's already saying it. Ain't nobody safe except basically Caleb Williams, right? Nobody's really safe. You're going to have to go out there and earn it. So if you bring in another body in that running back room, including the 7th round pick, who knows? The 7th round pick and whoever they sign could be the 1-2 punch that they looking for. And you might see DeAndre Swift out of there. We just had a running back last season that put up big numbers that got traded.
Foreman.
Yep, and got traded. And not just Foreman. What was the other guy name? Say it again. Khalil Herbert. That put up decent numbers and still had to get up out of there because they didn't fit what the team wanted. So, like, if it's JK Dobbins, if it's Nick Chubb, if it's one of the guys that's already on the roster, they got to go out there and prove it, bro.
I 100% agree with that. And I think that if you do bring either one of these guys in, that's Nick Chubb or JK Dobbins, I think that those guys will be able to bring a little bit of fire within that running back room. And you already heard Ben Johnson go out there and say things like, hey, guys got to earn their spot. And I'm 100% with that, because since I'm a competitor, whether it's we playing tic-tac-toe, we playing Connect Four, whatever, it is what it is. That's just how it is. And y'all already know we Chicago Bears Central. We number one. You know what I'm saying? We going to compete with anybody out there. And we going to say, hey, bring on the smoke if you want the smoke. If we going to collab, we going to collab. But if you want to say who's the number one, we going to do the number one. Simply because we are all here as competitors. And I'm 100% with that. You know what I'm saying? It's just that when it comes to the running back room for the Chicago Bears, look, if that is the move, I'm going to 100% support it. It's just that I'd rather see what we have within that running back room before we go out there and jump on it. Now, there is some concerns with saying, hey, Nick Chubb might not be on the market so long. JK Dobbins might not be on the market so long. So I'm with that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily against it. It's just that I'd rather see what these young guys can bring to a running back room and allow themselves to grow within this running back room, because simply you missed out on just about 3 running backs within this year's draft that you felt good about, and you missed out on. You missed out on Ashton Jensen. You missed out on Henderson. You missed out on Quinshawn Judkins. So bring those guys in.
And they missed out on like 5 running backs.
I'm not mad at it.
Maybe 6.
I'm not mad at it, bro. I say, hey, look, at the end of the day, I say that if you are going to bring these guys in, may the best man win. At the end of the day, may the best guy win, because for the simple fact, we are ready to win in Chicago. We have been off-season winners for the last 3 years. We are ready to win games. We ready to see the win and loss column reflect something that is good on the field. That's what we're ready for. So if it all comes down to that, and these guys are producing wins on the actual field, I have no problem with it
I'm
at the
right
end of
there.
the day.
I'm right there with you, Bobby. I'm tired of being the bachelor where they look good on TV, they look good on paper, and then as soon as them cameras go off, it's over with. That relationship does not last, bro.
Facts.
Yeah. Well, we shall see, man. We shall see. Any last thoughts, fellas, before we get up out of here?
It's good to have some Bears news tonight. I'm really over here, so I was here. I'm like, let me go on up in this joint.
Yeah,
For
I was
real.
like, hey, I saw that.
Hey,
I was
man.
like, I ain't gonna wait till tomorrow when we stream. Let's go ahead and knock this one out today. So
Hey, I ain't mad at it. And Drip got that Chicago White Sox, Chicago Bulls collab on that bit clean. I ain't gonna hold you, dog. My kids had me in there watching Minecraft. I'm like, man, I'm finna go to the bar. I ain't gonna lie to you. But hey, at the same time, man, look, these conversations are needed in Bears Nation. So we can make sure that we are not only having those good conversations amongst ourselves, but also I'm pretty sure these guys that are running the show, they don't necessarily give a fuck, but they care about what's the conversation around the team. We got to make sure that we applying pressure on the Chicago Bears team because we are ready for a winner. We are ready for a winner in Chicago. We need this, not want this. We need this as much effort we have put in behind this team. We need dubs, bro.
The
So
last
whatever you gotta do, get it done.
the
At the
last
end of the day,
consistent winner besides like deep dish pizza and Harold's chicken that the Chicago
Portillo's.
that Chicago has had has been like the Blackhawks, and there's no disrespect to hockey, right? Like, but we not really like hockey fans like that, right? Like it was cool to
Right.
watch them win championships, celebrate with them. And so I got on a hockey jersey, with hockey Bulls jersey right now. But at the end of the day, we need to see one of the teams that we really rock with win something, bro. Like for real, for real. So I'm right there
Facts.
with you, Bobby.
Facts.
Well, we'll see what the future does hold for the Chicago Bears. Y'all know if news drops, we drop. It's very simple around here. Y'all can follow us at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, 773-242-9336. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace, y'all.